Shots fired. Several officers raise their guns. The tranquilizer dart guy takes aim too. No! Maya yells. No guns! Kimu blinks, eyes darting right and left, then leaps off the car with such grace and speed it's like he owns the wind. Two shots ring out. Silence follows. Was he hit? Someone asks. Maya closes her eyes. I sure hope not. I sure hope so, someone else says. Jungle. As I watched that leap, watched Kimu fly, I didn't know what to think. Part of me was like, go for it, dude. And the other part of me was thinking, it's a jungle out there. A situation. Officer William climbs onto a picnic table. Someone hands her a megaphone so she can be heard over the din. Folks, she yells, listen up. We've got a handful of animal control workers coming over, but several roads are already flooded out. And the weather guys are saying Gus is gonna take his sweet time. Meanwhile, park supervisors call in more help, but only if your workers can get here safely. The unmistakable roar of a big cat rolls over us like slow thunders. Any more trank guns? Officer William asks the park director, who just arrived. Three in reserve, she answers. Nets? We have a dozen. Okay then, Officer Williams' radio crackles. I can hear more shouting, more barking dogs. Shouters flooding, she says. Yeah, that's happened there before, the director says. Usually just a foot or two of water. Okay, public safety is where we start. Officer Williams wipes rain from her forehead. We need to get the word out that these animals are on the loose. Of course, says the director. We have protocols in place. But we need to be careful how we word this. People might overreact. Might. Ma'am, a firefighter interrupts. I see a python in my backyard. I'm sure a heck as heck gonna overreact. First things first, says Officer Williams. Triage in the main office. Check wreckage for any survivors, human or animal. Fan out with trank guns. Get an inventory on how many animals are loose. I wonder how it's possible that Officer Williams can seem so composed. The air reeks with fear from animals, birds, people, from me. And yet she doesn't seem worried about herself, just other people. Weird the way some humans stick their necks out for others. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Again, the crackle, the hiss, the barking. My ears perk up for a minute. Was that a familiar voice? Maybe someone I know is in the slammer. I'm going to the shelter at the elementary school, Sarah says. Her hands are trembling, but her voice is firm. To look for George and Julia, just in case. She strokes my head, and I'm happy to let her. I wonder if I should tag along with her, see if I can help out. Now that I know Ivan and Ruby are safe. Hiss, crackles, male, bark. I hear it again. My ears go on alert. My body goes rigid. No, it's impossible. Never. Some barks you never forget. One place. I know what I have to do. Despite the turmoil all around me, the noises, the smell, the fear, and the confused humans, the frantic animals, despite my worry about Julia and George, I know there's one place I need to be. A split second. I want to tell Ivan and Ruby, but Ivan is still being poked at by the rhymes with pet threat. Although, come to think of it, she doesn't seem like much of a threat. In a movie, she'd be one of the good guys. To my annoyance, Sarah picks me up. I hate being picked up, unless it's my idea. Then it's totally cool. Maya, she says, you let me know. First sign of George and Julia, okay? Promise, says Maya, and she places her hand on Sarah's shoulder. Humans, always with the touching. Although, I kind of get it under this circumstances. You can't take Bob to school. You can't take Bob to the school shelter. They're not allowing any more pets. Maya points out, and the animal shelter is flooding. It sounds like. Why don't you leave him here? I'll put him in my office. He'll be safe. No way is that on my agenda. Sarah nods. Good idea. She starts to hand me over, but hesitate when she realizes Maya still has a meerkat wrapped around her neck. It's just a split second, but a split second is all it takes to escape when you're Bob, untamed and undaunted.